Now, away from Wilson Buru, Kenya is holding a regional journalist convention as part of the events marking the World Press Freedom Day. The celebrations will converge into 4th Annual Journalism Excellence Award. This will be held later tonight. Right now, however, KTN's Rita Tinina joins us from the Hotel Intercontinental, where she is following the event at the convention. Now, Rita, what are the sentiments of the status of press freedom in the country?
Well, Najma, as you mentioned there, the journalist convention is taking place here at the Hotel Intercontinental. And this is a convention that is being held just a day after the world marked the World Press Freedom Day. This is a day that was designated back in 1993 by the UN General Assembly, basically to, among other things, assess the status of media freedom, to celebrate the principles of media freedom, to honor journalists who have excelled in their work, also to pay tribute and honor journalists who have died in the line of duty. So here today, several issues are being discussed. The question that you asked about the status of media freedom here in Kenya, the Media Council says that this year, so far since the year began, the council has received 15 cases, complaints of harassment by journalists. And these are issues of journalists being intimidated, having their equipment damaged or being harassed. The most recent case, that of Ruben Ogachi from Citizen TV, as well as Nehemiah Okwemba from NTV, the two were attacked by GSU officers as they covered the protest at the Galana ADC farm in Tana River. But sad, and more recently, actually just a few days ago, the death in unclear circumstances of Eldoret-based journalist John Kitui. The sentiments of those who spoke this morning all agreed that Kenya has made several strides when it comes to media freedom. But there was general consensus that there's still a long way to go for the country in achieving media freedom. Najma.
Well, Rita, has the debate on the digital migration featured in the convention?
Well, this morning, Najma, the issue, that controversial issue of digital migration, that debate was reignited here this morning. The chairman of the Kenya Editors Guild, Linus Kaikai, saying the government handled the digital migration issue in the most irresponsible manner. But Deputy President William Ruto was the chief guest, defended the government, saying that discussions were held, consultations were held. There was a wide debate on the issue of the switch off from analog to digital. And so the government saying that all was handled as it should have been before the government took the action that it took. The Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communications and Technology, Fred Matiang'i, also defending the government, saying that in fact the process has gone on. So far, he says it has been good when it comes to digital migration in the country. Najma.
If you could tell us, Rita, the credibility of the media currently in the country.
Well, the credibility of journalists is one of the other issues that came up here this morning. There are concerns that quacks and other masqueraders are operating in the media industry, giving journalists a bad name. The chair of the Kenya Editors Guild calling on the Media Council of Kenya to sort of ensure that the accreditation of journalists is a rigorous vetting process to ensure that only professional journalists are operating in the industry. There was also the concern that certain journalists are being compromised to take care of the interests, so to speak, of individuals, politicians, political parties, or even the government in their respective media houses. The term that was used here this morning by the Deputy President as well as the Chairman of the Kenya Editors Guild, Linus Kaikai, was that of mtuwetu or watuwetu in media houses, where certain journalists, as I said, are compromised, so they skew a story in the favor of either a politician, a businessman, several individuals, organizations, or the government. The other issue that came up here was that of the digital revolution and whether the new digital age is good for the country. Does it encourage a global agenda of communicating across the borders, or is it bad for the country? Does it encourage the spreading of hate speech and all But all are agreed that perhaps some measures need to be undertaken to ensure that through the blogs, through social media such as Twitter, there is credibility and it does not serve to spread propaganda or several other things. The other issue that came up was that of laws. Linus Kaikai saying that the government has been pushing for several laws that are aimed to stifle media operations in the country. He cited broadcast regulations, and through these regulations, the government will seek to, among other things, have a programming code for media houses, where media houses will not even be able to take a commercial break until a certain time. There will also be the issue of media houses being told how to handle certain stories. The issue of the security laws, media practitioners, of course, have been against those security laws. But Deputy President William Ruto defending the government over security laws. Some of them were declared unconstitutional by the court. But William Ruto says he has no regrets over the security laws, giving an example of the Garissa attack. He says after the security laws were implemented, during that attack, no media house aired very gory images from that attack. Najma.
Well, thank you very much. Rita Tinina there at the Intercontinental Hotel, where the journalist convention is currently ongoing. She will be giving us the full story in our subsequent